Welcome. I am your host, Trinette Collier Green, and this is Woman on Fire, where we sit back, have girl chat about building healthy community relationships with self, friends, family, community, and more importantly, with God. And today I have a very special guest, Miss LadyLee Davis. I got a little tongue tied there. Welcome today. How are you?
I am fantastic.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on. LadyLee Davis. I like that name. So let's jump right in because you know we can talk. We can chat. So tell us, who is LadyLee Davis and what is it that you do?
Well, LadyLee Davis, first of all, is a native of Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, all right.
You know, it's not many of us around.
Right, really, it's not. So y'all are there now.
Yeah, born and raised right here.
Okay.
And I'm married to one of the best husbands in the world.
Okay.
And we've known each other actually since we were 9 years old.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
And I'm an educator, an author, motivational speaker, and life coach.
Wow.
Yes, and my passion is to serve, educate, and empower.
Wow. Many hats.
Yes, I love it.
So you're a published author. Tell us about your book.
Well, my book has a story behind it.
Okay.
And then I'll share the title as I go on a little bit about the book.
Yes,
okay?
please do.
So, of course, you know, we always talk about how we have a story.
Right.
So I began writing a few years back.
Okay.
And it led up to me finally taking it more seriously and publishing.
Okay.
So the way that came about is as a caregiver. I was taking care of my daughter who had sickle cell, my grandmother who was a dialysis and cancer patient.
Okay.
And she was 90.
Okay.
My daughter was 24.
Really?
Okay. So I had been taking care of them for years, and the last 5 years kind of got really intense for the need and care they needed. So as a caregiver, you do have to take time for yourself.
Right, right.
So I had gone on a vacation with my mother-in-law. We went to Virginia. Had a great time, right? And I just unwind, relaxed, had so much fun. Got back home. Tell you how fast things can turn. I get home, I'm coming in the door, and my grandmother greets me at the door. I got 2 bags in my hand, and she has tears in her eyes. And I'm like, Grandma, what's wrong? Right. And so she proceeds to tell me that I got the test results back from the breast exam, and I do have cancer. I said, oh, okay. Well, we just have to take the next step.
Okay.
And she was just kind of wiped out from it. You know, I comforted her for a little while. And then I go to the back to greet my daughter. Okay. She was having a sickle cell crisis, which with sickle cell is a very painful disease. And as a parent, it is so hard to watch your child go through these things and not be able to do anything. You know, so I comforted her the best I could. Pick up my bags, make it downstairs to my husband, and he's in a depressed state. He's been laid off several times and was in that job hunt. And that can be very challenging, especially for the men too, because they're the head of the household and want to fulfill their roles and just feel incomplete when they can't do it. So I comfort him as well. And I sit on the end of the bed and I said, okay, this is what I've been dealt today.
All in one day?
All in one day.
Ooh,
within 15 minutes of coming in the house. Right. Because I come in and I greet everybody, find out what's going on. But you know, at the end of the day, I said, okay, only thing that's happening is life. All of this that we have, sickness, disease, illnesses, job problems, employers, it's a part of life. Right, right. So I sat on the end of the bed because, of course, I was stressing.
I can imagine.
Yes, it was stressful. And I said, now, am I going to let this stress kill me or heal me?
So you remain calm even after all of this? Because that's a lot. So you remain calm. Okay.
And I said, you know, I developed the philosophy that we hear about how much stress can kill.
Yes, yes.
But I'm here to let you know that stress can also heal. It's all going to boil down to responding versus reacting. My reacting would have been not being calm, like, okay, all this is going on, I just can't believe my grandmother this, my daughter. But responding is, okay, this is a situation. What can I do? How can I do it? What I can control? What can I control?
Okay.
And the strength beyond what's known was going to come from our Heavenly Father. So I just need to do my role.
Wow.
And writing was my therapy behind it, because I said, now how can I take this situation and this time in my life and benefit someone else? So the title of my book is How to Love Stress and Live Longer. Empower your life for an enjoyable journey.
How to love stress and live longer.
Exactly.
That's a new take, how to love stress, because stress has such a negative connotation. I know I've been dealing with it in the last 2 years and trying to manage it, and I'm learning, I'm getting there, but you say it so calmly and just so gracefully. So tell us more about how to love stress.
Okay. And you know, I would love to, because stress, number one, is here to stay.
Okay.
So there's no need to stress out about it, because it's going to be here.
Right.
So the question is, are you going to react or are you going to respond? See, stress is simply the triggers that is reaching to you to let you know something's not right. Something's not settling with you.
Right.
And it's trying to get your attention to address it.
Okay.
But when we don't address it, we're going to react. And that's going to make the high blood pressure. That's going to make us be stressed out. That causes the headaches, all the other things that tie into that. But if we would just respond, now sometimes responding, well, not sometimes, really all the time, the responding process is you got to deal with deep within. You got to hit your core.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we try to be somebody that we're not. And that's stressful within itself.
Right.
We're trying to be something that somebody else may want us to be.
Okay.
And we try to live other people's lives for them.
Wow.
I experienced that as a caregiver.
Okay.
There was so much I wanted my daughter to do. You need to do this, you need to do that. You need, my grandmother, you need to do this, you know.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I needed to back up, because this is their life.
Okay.
They're going to live it the way they choose, just as I'm going to do the same. And
so
no one
matter,
has the right.
Even though it's your daughter, even though it's your mom, you're, okay, I see what you're saying.
You have to. Because think about it. Do you want anybody trying to tell you how to live your life?
No.
Absolutely. And see, even our Heavenly Father gives us choices. Yeah. We're not robotic. We have the freedom to choose to worship or not.
That is true.
So if He gives us that much room, how much more so should we be giving it to each other? So learning how to accept that and to love people where they are, how they are, and for who they are, your life will be so much more enjoyable and calm and respectful, and understanding everybody can do this their way.
Right.
And not bump heads.
Wow. I mean, LadyLee Davis, we're sitting here, and she is literally calm talking about stress. I mean, that is that word, that is that, it almost seems like you're afraid of it, but you're saying to love it. So tell us more about, because I honestly don't know how to love stress. Like, you know, is it a skill? Is it a technique?
Absolutely. It's all of that. Okay. And to take mine to the next level, when I had the situation of sharing this with you about that event and coming home to those situations, so that was on a Monday. Okay. Tuesday, I had a conversation with my daughter about her health. Okay. We had a doctor's appointment coming up in 2 days, and she wasn't handling her sickle cell well. Right. So she was stressed out mentally because she has always reacted to sickle cell versus responding. So responding would be for her to embrace her condition so that she can control it and not let it control her. Okay. So you're easily controlled when you have no foundation for what you're doing. Right. That means I can come along and just. Exactly. Yeah. But when you know where you're headed, it's like, no, you back over there. You know? Right. So she had finally said, you know, Mom, I do need to get some help mentally. Okay. I had told her, I said, baby, you stay on this path, Mama's afraid that she's going to lose you. Okay. And she said, and I'm afraid of dying too, because I feel like that may happen. Oh, okay. And I said, yeah, and I'm here for you, but mama can't do it for you. Okay. I've tried to have sickle cell for her. Right. That's what I mean by trying to live somebody else's life. Okay. And this is my only child. Okay, okay. So I shared with her about my grandmother having cancer. Now you have to know that my daughter was my grandmother's world. Okay. She lived and breathed Brittany. Okay. That's my daughter. Okay. So when I shared with my daughter that grandmother had cancer, she took it hard too. Okay. So that was Tuesday. How about later on Tuesday evening, my daughter's crisis had gotten even worse, and she wanted to go ahead and go to the hospital. Okay. And we had a routine in place that we did for that. Okay. So she would we either do the ambulance or I'd take her at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay. She would call me about 4 or 5, hang up from the hospital phone so I would know where she was. Okay. And she didn't want to talk because when she got in, she was medicated and just trying to rest. Gotcha. So the next morning, I would just answer the missed call to call her to see what she needed because I would be coming down the next day. Okay. So this was the routine. Okay. So Tuesday, she went to the hospital by ambulance, and I got the phone call. Got up Wednesday. Wednesday is a dialysis day for grandmother. Okay. But this time when I got the call and I called back, somebody else answered the phone. Okay. And I'm like, this is interesting. Right. I said, I'm looking for my daughter, Brittany. Could you put her on the phone or tell me what room they moved her to? And they put me on hold. And I was like, well, why are they putting me on hold? This is not usual.
Not in your routine.
Right. Right. So someone comes back to the phone and they're like, well, who is this? I said, this is her mother. And she came in by ambulance and she called like she normally does. And I just need to speak to her so I can know what to bring. Could you tell me where she is? And the lady says, well, ma'am, I'm very sorry to tell you that we lost Brittany last night.
LadyLee.
Yes.
Oh, I am so sorry.
And I said, you lost her as in y'all don't know where y'all put her? You know, you moved her? I mean, what do you mean she left? I mean, what do you mean we lost her? That was the coroner's office that had called me. Oh, wow. So instead of getting a call from my daughter, it was a call from them. Okay. So this was 9 o'clock Wednesday morning, and I had to have my grandmother at dialysis at 10. Okay. And I needed to get her there because I knew if I told her before, she wasn't going to go. Okay. It was going to be a done deal because I already knew what I was going to have to deal with that being her world. Right. So I called her father, which at the time he lived in North Carolina. Okay. And they immediately came down. I called the rest of the family, let them know what was going on, what had happened. Okay. And then I'm trying to keep it together to get grandmother. It's about a 15-minute drive to dialysis, and try not to let her catch on.
You didn't tell her at all?
No.
How did you do that?
That strength beyond what is normal. Because it was not on my own. Yeah. I did have me a prayer, and I just pressed, Jehovah, please. Just help me to do this. Grandmother still needs her treatment, and we'll just deal with it in the evening. So I got her there, got her all hooked up, because even with her, I would do extra. I would do her weight, get her hooked up on the machine. I was kind of like a little nurse myself. Okay. And she had this look on her face, because she could always tell when something wasn't right with Britt. And she said, is Britt okay? I said, I'm going to check on her. Okay. You know. And she said, okay, because I know she knew she went to the hospital because we were all staying together anyway. And she said, well, let me know because something's not right. I said, okay, I will. Yeah. I got home and finally was able to just let go and sit down. I was like, okay, what did this lady just tell me? Yeah. You know, then family started coming over and I was able to kind of let loose and accept what was going on. It still was like we were going to the doctor Thursday, remember? Right. We had this game plan. Yeah. So it took me for a real loop, because we had this different expectation. Right. So it took a while. Okay. So my father picked up my grandmother from dialysis and took her to get something to eat, because we wanted her to eat first, because we knew that was going to come to an end. So we did all of that, and when we told her, it was as though a part of her died. Really? She let out this sigh of like something just, and she changed. Did she? Yes. Wow. We buried my daughter that Saturday, and then I was at the doctor's office on Monday with the cancer. Okay. So we lost her Wednesday, We had the services Saturday, and Monday I'm at the doctor's office for the cancer. So as you can see, I just kept going. And learning in the process, I'm just like, I'm always thinking, how is this going to benefit others? How am I going to handle this? Right. I'm staying calm. I'm trying to do this. And I'm like, the calmer I remained in responding to everything, the more relaxed I was. I could think better. I could operate better. I was there for my grandmother more.
Okay.
After the funeral, my grandmother told me she wasn't going to be here much longer.
Okay.
And I lost her 9 months later.
Really?
Yes. And the difference in the two of them, too, was I had closure with grandmother, but I didn't have it with my daughter.
Okay. Okay.
And the way I had closure with her was in the hospital. She's in the ICU, and the people coming around with the harp. And at that moment, my phone was quiet. There were no visitors in the room. It was though everything just froze.
Really?
And during that time, and the guy played, it was so beautiful. And my grandmother said, baby, I don't want you to be mad. I said, Grandma, I'm not mad.
Right.
I said, I understand. She said, I'm just tired now. I'm ready to go. I said, okay.
Wow.
She passed the next day.
Really?
But we had closure.
Okay.
With my daughter, no closure.
Because you sent her in the ambulance. You took it. It was their routine. Wow.
And I'm thinking I'm finna go down. We're going to talk to the psychologist and get the... Girl, I'm talking to the coroner's office.
All this time. I'm just amazed at your calmness throughout that situation, you know, because all of us at some point in time we deal with death, and I know recently and shared with it, and I'm still surprised because you're just so calm with it, and even when you came to me after my mom died, and you just comforted me, and I was just like, her spirit is like, you know, anybody else, child, I'm so sorry. You know, and I'm like, I don't need that, you know.
Right.
But your spirit is so, and it's a testimony because even during that time, like you said, you remained calm. I would have been I probably just lost it all between the two. Oh my goodness.
It was a reality check because after we buried grandmother, she had everything planned out. Her program was even done. She during ICU, she was on the phone calling the pallbearers to make sure they were going to still do their jobs.
Really?
Yeah.
So she knew.
She knew, and she was getting confirmation, and that took it to a whole nother level.
Right.
So after all of that, I'm at home one day, and I'm saying, it is empty. Where is my daughter?
Because grandmother was living with you all.
Yeah, we were all living together.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, where's my daughter? Where's grandmama? What has happened over these last 9 months? Because this was a 9-month period.
Not even a full year.
Right. And it began to take a toll on me then.
Okay.
And I started realizing that they're not here. And it's almost like I was in robotic mode at the same time of letting go of everything. Because I had been mourning, I call myself mourning.
Right.
You can't really say what that process is going to be like because it's based on that relationship. It's based on who you are. It's based on how you see death. It's so many factors. And people have to keep that in mind when they're wanting to reach out. You know, people don't really mean any harm, but they can't really relate.
Right, exactly.
When it comes to different things. Right. And even if they've gone through, like me losing my daughter, I met some people that lost their daughter, but the difference too, even if that is common, but what was your relationship like with your daughter?
That is so true. That
you
is
know,
true.
that's going to still make a difference. So we relate, but then it's still unique to each person and that individual, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it was like, my daughter was like my ace boom coon. She's like my mini-me. We were like sisters. She had an old school soul. She's just mama all the way. And we had so much fun together. So I ended up, let me hit real quick on how fast I stayed calm down to the point of depression. Okay. I like to talk about depression a little bit because I don't know why people have a fear of it. But I had gotten so depressed with looking at everything over the years. Number one, I started having thyroid issues.
Okay.
Then my doctor said I was having onset menopause.
Okay.
And I was depressed. So I'm looking like, what the what?
Right.
You know, I'm like,
everything.
What in,
From
you know,
mental to physical.
to fit all of it. And the depression part was so bad that my prayer was to go to sleep in my sleep. I mean, to fall asleep in death while sleeping. And I would wake up and like, okay, I'm still here. So you're not answering my prayers. I don't want to be here no more.
You're like, you can't do this. You do
really, I can't
else.
Really, I don't want to. So
right.
There were times that I stayed in the bed like 11 days straight.
Yeah.
Get up, go to the bathroom, no appetite, no desire for anything. And in my mind, I'm saying, how am I going to get out of this? What am I going to do? And I know I had to continue to lean on Jehovah to help me, but at the same time, I felt like I couldn't be helped.
Yeah.
Because to have you in that place where it's like, I'm done. I don't want to do nothing. And I actually felt my body shutting down. That's how bad it got. When they say that if you don't use it, you lose it,
yes,
it is so true. My legs and everything, I felt the like shriveling kind of like, okay.
I thought it was just me.
No, that's how bad it hit.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I said, you know, I would always think something's going to happen to get me out of this, but I don't know what, and I don't know when, and I don't know how.
Right.
And even when it came to my own thoughts, I was like, okay, maybe I can take some pills. But then my scary behind was like, what if I don't take enough?
Right.
And I paralyzed one part of me. I do something I won't even do it right. So I was too scared to do it. You know, it's like, well, what else could I possibly do? What if I try to drink something? Well, but then I might have to pump my stomach. And I was just.
So you trying to find your solution.
Right. I'm like, well, how am I going to do this?
Right.
But it's real. And what I got from this, and this has happened to me twice with having major depression.
Yeah.
And yet I'm the author of How to Love, Stress, and Live Longer. So you can see my battle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all these concepts that's in my book, I know them.
Yeah.
Like the back of my hand. But I had no desire to apply them. And I kept saying,
to everybody else, you can show this for yourself.
Yes. Yeah. And I said, that's how bad depression or the place depression can have you. So you're not really being yourself.
Yeah.
And when I responded to not being myself versus trying to react to not being myself, everything started coming back for me. My prayer became more of, give me the strength. I know I'll make it through. I would sit up a little bit more. I was living minute to minute, not hour to hour. You know how we say take it a day at a time?
Yeah.
Mine was, let me just take it a minute.
Right.
And then it went from a minute at a time. Jehovah, just let me get through the first hour of the day. I've been up this long. Maybe I can just stay up. Because if I got up and did something, it seemed like it took everything out of me.
Right,
to do that one thing. And yet I was this active, outgoing. I'm looking at stuff of the things I used to do, and I'm like, I'm never going to be able to do this anymore. How was I able to? I mean, just a wreck. You hear me?
Wow.
But I'm here to let people know it's going to be okay.
And I appreciate that honesty because, as you know, dealing with the death of my mom over this past year, it took a toll. And for me, I was mourning and celebrating, getting married, 3 weeks later, losing my mom. And I'm just like, okay, Lord, where are my emotions? And I finally had to say, it's okay, because when my father passed, it was a different, like it was devastating because we were a family, a unit. So when he passed, it was like, okay, here go a change. But when that mama died, it was a different, it was like that gut wrenching. So I never dealt with the grieving with my dad. So all of it came. And just to hear you say, it's going to be okay. And that's what, you know, we want to have women to understand that help them to understand that it's going to be okay.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Even when you think it's not, and you can be 100% sure you think it's not.
Yeah, yeah.
It's still going to be okay.
Yeah.
Because you're still going through a process, and when you embrace it and respond to it, the sooner you can start working on coming out of it.
Yeah.
You know, and not being embarrassed by it.
Okay.
And not trying to stay away from others as a result of it. Even though when you're depressed, you don't want to be bothered.
Yeah.
You have to get to a point where it's like, you got to have people you're okay with seeing you like that.
Yeah.
See, my support team of those are out there, and you can find a support team. If you don't have one, you can create one.
Yeah.
And you create one by others that can relate, that's been depressed.
I finally had to say, okay, I need help. That was in this season. That's one of the lessons that I learned from all of this, to say, Trinette, you need help, and it's okay. And you know, and it's okay that you're not strong. I finally just told somebody, I'm not strong.
Exactly.
You know, for the first time when I said those words, it was like, I said, ooh, I finally said it. I'm not strong. You know, because like you said, people don't know what to say. They mean well, but stay strong, Trinette, you know. And I just finally had to yell out, I'm not strong, you know. And especially for black women, it's like we're so used to putting on this cape, and somebody done told us that we had to be strong, when it's like, no, it's okay.
And you know, as the oldest of 6 kids, I was always accountable for everyone.
I'm the oldest too, so
So I had to take on that responsible role.
Yeah.
And it's okay. You are strong.
Yeah, yeah.
We just have weak days.
There you go.
But as a person and who you are, we are strong.
Right, right.
But we have those days, and it's okay. Again, it's okay. I say that so many times in the book about it. It's okay.
It's okay.
And you can appreciate that more and more, day by day. And the way that you begin to love stress is the same way you begin to become stressed out.
Okay.
Day by day.
Day by day.
And how long did it take for you to get to the point of the stress you were dealing with now? Very simple. How old are you?
46.
That's how long it's taken.
Wow. LadyLee Davis, I am just amazed at your testimony and just the person that you are. Tell the audience how we can connect with you.
Oh, sure. I would love to connect with everyone. The best way to connect with me is through my website, which is LadyLeeSpeaks.com. On there, my contact info is there. More information about the book is there. And I would love to hear from anybody that would love to talk.
Yes, I mean, How to Love Stress.
Exactly.
I mean, I love the title, and I can't wait to read it. And again, I thank you so much for sharing your testimony, because again, the purpose of this show and this journey is just to show other women that, like you said, it's okay that we go through all of this, you know. So again, I thank you, LadyLee Davis, for coming on, and for you all for tuning in. And again, stay connected with me. All social media, Trinette L. Collier. On the website, I am TrinetteLCollier.com, and there you'll find information on the guests and whatnot. And every day that you wake up, just know that it's a new beginning, just new chances, and just give God the glory, and just be thankful, because we have one life to live, you know, live, laugh, and love. So until next time, thank you so much, and I'm just amazed.
Yes.
I'm just amazed. Until next time, talk to you later. Bye.